really, indeed, Digital Dragons. And today we want to talk about initiatives because the industry is going through what it is going through, a crisis of sorts, or maybe a shift, a paradigm shift. And in Poland, there are already a lot of networking opportunities, getting to meet people who think the same way, who can help out, who you can talk to. And I'm really excited to have a lineup the way I have. And we're going to talk about initiatives. Some of them are maybe not worldwide yet, quite yet, but countrywide or local, and have big ambitions in the future. And I think let's roll. How should we do it? Should I start with the intros? Okay. My name is Joanna. I'm a marketer for indie games, been in the industry for 3 years now, and I am running Kobiety Game Dev, which is a female-focused networking opportunity, and I've been running it for a year and a half now. We do monthly meetups online on Discord to talk about things that connect us as women dev, or people working on the outskirts of the development process. And I have a lineup of guests who I met actually through networking opportunities, conferences, things we do together. I'm very proud to be a host of Pogradajmy Online as well, whose founder we have today actually with us. And yes. I really would love for you to introduce your initiatives in a few words to kick it off and, kind of get on with the panel.
So, hey, I'm Jimmy. I'm a lead designer on Qubit. I'm also a founder and VCEO there. On my spare time, I'm running Game Developer Gaduchy, or Chit Chat, if you like it in English. It's an event focused on networking, most of all, and education as well. We cover very different topics connected to game dev, whatever you like. The event is right now happening in Wrocław and in Warsaw. Here is Radek Klasa. He's running the Wrocław part of the event. We started the event with him in Wrocław. So I think, that's it from me right now. For now, at least.
Okay, for me. I'm Patrick, Lublin Game Dev Foundation. I'm doing game dev in Lublin for over 11 years. Started as a local community, but with time recently we are starting to not only focus on Lublin itself, but sometimes even on Poland. Sometimes we are even going abroad. A couple of cool things that we are doing, and for example, a conference that we are running the next weekend, Lub Game Conference for people that are just starting in the game development, their game development journey. Besides that, I'm also a co-founder of Reality Unit, a small studio where we are doing mostly mobile games in a skill-based niche market.
Hey, hello everyone. I'm Michał Schemat-Wierzbicki. I'm a founder of Pogradajmy. For me, it sounds a little weird that it's a non-profit organization, but it's for gamers and game developers. We talked about video games monthly, currently in 11 cities in Poland, and also in the online edition with Joanna as a host. I will tell you more about it in our panel, I think.
Yes. As you can see, we have a very broad sort of spectrum of initiatives. Some of them have been in the country for a very long time, and some of them are quite fresh. Mine, for example, I've been running it for a year and a half by now, and I really want to get into what motivates us and what makes it, possible, because people have so many different routes to running such things. Some people, I think, always ask, why are you doing this? What for? You're not getting paid for that? Why? And I think our agenda really covers it all. And I think we can very smoothly, come with the first question. What was the initial idea for you that started
so tell us.
Sure. Mine was quite simple. I've been in game dev for 3 years at the university, actually April, and I got invited to be an ambassador with Women in Games a year into my game dev journey. I've been an ambassador for 2 years now, and I always liked networking. I joined gaming actually after corporate marketing, and for me, networking is quite natural. You go to the grills, you go to sausage parties, and you go to different places to, start businesses, have informal chats, and more senior ladies said to me that they don't do events like that. They don't want to be part of it. They don't feel like they fit in. So my initiative kind of came up naturally as having coffee and cakes, because a lot of my friends who are female devs like that sort of networking. It was also about meeting like-minded women, because with male developers it was easy. I got introduced with my first job at 11-bit studios to a lot of developers. My manager was really crucial, introducing and fostering the context, and I'm gonna be grateful for that, I think till the end of my career, really. And I got set up for success. And it was just, for me to meet people who are like-minded and just have fun together. And it's been going for a year and a half now, both online and actually in person. We had a coffee kind of date, if I can call it that, at the beginning of Digital Dragons. And yeah, that's why I also set up the panel, so that people have an overview for the initiatives, because a lot of people keep asking me if there are some things like that, and they're already there because you guys are here.
I would love to have that elevated reasons why I'm started to run
Perfect.
game development Pogaduchy, but my backstory is quite simple. My company sent me to Wrocław, and I didn't really knew anyone over there, so I get in touch with TK Games, and Radek was a CEO of TK. Yeah, you were? Yeah, kind of. So we started the event because simply I haven't got anyone to drink beer with. That's it. And I came up with that idea that we should meet, network, and by the way, we should learn something. And that's it. And it's running for 4 years right now. And we have the event in Wrocław, in Warsaw, and we are trying to run it here in Krakow as well. So I hope for the best.
Yes, and actually we met through me going to the initiative, and I think it's going really, really well. And it's, I think, one of the staples for Warsaw, at least for game dev, because people just keep asking each other whether, are you going to Pogaduchy? Are you going on Monday? Are you going to be there? So yeah, you're doing great, I think.
Nice to hear that.
Yeah, I'm also planning to come sometime, but yeah, it's not that far away from Lublin, but yeah, still like hour and a half drive, but yeah.
Still doable.
It's a travel.
It's a travel, yeah, it's a journey. Yeah,
Exactly.
maybe like that. So my story was like that when I was in senior year in high school, I was like looking around for like how to make games, and I found like, I don't know, 50 different frameworks, game engines, all of those sorts, and I got just like paralyzed because of like what I should pick, because I need to analyze what would be the best. And then, of course, like exams in high school and then university. And I was lucky because on a second semester, I was participating into like some student groups, learning programming just a bit. And then my first boss in game dev posted that he is looking for like Unity developer, and I didn't even start thinking. I just like wrote to him, "Hey, I would like to make games," and that's how I got my first job. And a month after that, we actually came here to Krakow for, I believe, second edition of Digital Dragons. And on the way here and back, I was just like chatting, hey, there's this conference in Krakow, in Warsaw, in Poznań, in Free City, even in Siedlce there was some kind of like game dev event, and there was nothing in Lublin. So I decided that, okay, maybe I won't make conference the first year, but at least let's start meeting up. Let's start doing something together. Let's just like build community in Lublin. And since then, of course, we are still running those meetups. But besides that, we started doing more things like workshops, game jams, of course, like even some national game development tournaments that we were doing before the pandemic. And as a celebration last year for like a decade of what we were doing, we decided that, okay, this is the time. It all started with the conference. Let's celebrate with another conference.
Perfect circle.
Yes.
Really, a perfect circle. Great. I think great storytelling as well, that it all comes into a circle, really. A circle of life and game dev.
True.
Okay, so at my side was that I had some, personal things in my life that I had to move to another city, and I moved to Warsaw. And I didn't have any friends from gaming there, and but I love playing games, right? So I decided to go for the one event. It was a tournament qualification to the European Championship in Injustice. And then between our rounds, people there talked about video games. And one person there told something like that guys, this is amazing that I am here with you today, because when I move out with my friends, I try to talk about video games, and they don't understand me, right? Because I can talk with them just, for example, casual games like FIFA, like The Sims. But here we are talking about heavy rain, right? So now, small pause here. I have a questions to you. Do you know the game Heavy Rain from Quantic Dream? Yeah. So you can now feel what I felt 10 years ago. And when I came back to my apartment, I had this in my head, and I thought that it can be great to try to create the event first for the gamers, where we can talk about video games. But I try to add something more, and I love game developers. You are my heroes, superheroes. And I decided that why not to try to bring them to our meeting, because I believe that you game creators, you are gamers as well. Let's talk in the same level, right? Not something like lecture, like educational way, but just for one topic. We also decided to go to the pub because of the beers, right? Because sometimes it's easier, not at all, right? You can also drink water there, but still, it's atmosphere. It's less formal. The pub had also consoles where we had a chance to play, and it starts from this this one of the event. Firstly, it wasn't the idea about monthly meetings, but when we ended our first meetup, guys asked me when will be next. Yeah, so we decided it will be next month, and the idea was just about the Warsaw, but half years later I moved to Krakow, and I decided that I will take this event to the Krakow. And there was a lot of lucky, fun stories with the people who know about the event and contact me that, hey, I heard about Pogradajmy, maybe we can do it together. Yeah, it was Natalia from Katowice. It was a person from Bydgoszcz who. Dr. Mohocki, maybe you recognize. He talked about Pogradajmy to his students, and gave them the challenge that if you do a Pogradajmy in Bydgoszcz, then you will pass the exam. It was something like that. Yeah, and so that's why I talked about it like something like luck, right? And it's grew up naturally, yeah, that people knew about it and contact me, and I give them a green light to do it. And now, today, we have 11 cities, but we were in, I believe, 18 cities in Poland, and an online edition. Yeah.
Yes, and I think I think with Pogradajmy, I've been impressed, since hearing about it, because it's been going for how many years exactly?
11, it will be in June.
Yes, so like
I'm
in
a
just a
little
month's
old.
time. Yes, and I was really impressed when I heard about it first, because I was like thinking, how do you make it beyond even 1 year mark? Because one of the things we're gonna definitely go through with the panel are the lessons learned and how to keep the fire going. Because a lot of people, at least in my view, they start some initiatives and they fall down or fall through after one meetup, after 3 meetups, sometimes after half a year. But all these initiatives are going. They're going strong. Like as you heard, Patrick has the conference, right, Saturday. Pogradajmy is going to turn 11, and Pogaduchy is how old, actually?
4.5, I think, something like that.
Toddler stage, so the bird's growing years. And mine is just turning, as I said, 1.5 years, so it's still going strong. And I think it's amazing how different, the maybe motives and the initial spark was, but at the end of the day, I think, and you could agree or disagree with me, but it was the need for connection. I think that's really what connects us, actually.
Yeah, true.
And I think I love the beer idea as well, because at first I was also introduced to most people at very informal networking, not very formal, dinners or very formal restaurants outings, but just getting a beer or getting
I think
like
it
non-alcoholic
depends
things.
on the target of the event.
True.
If you are doing an event for like common folk, the beer works because most of the people likes beer. And
another thing to add here is like I think all of us are introverts, so
yeah, exactly.
that's
like,
even more amazing.
Yeah, usually I don't talk to people. Like Pogaduchy is my main reason to come out to people and simply ask for guys to come to the event. Let's be my special guest, be my speaker. This what runs me basically, and what keeps me going. I think it gives fun to the people, and I see they learn from it. And even last time, one guy wrote me a message, "Yo, Jimmy, I made a game because one time I've been on Pogaduchy, and I thought I can do that." And he gathered up a team, he created a game, and right now publishers comes to him, ask him if they can release that game. And that's a cool story. It like make my heart warm, and that's a very cool moment.
Yes, and I think maybe we can definitely get into that question of keeping the fire going. I think testimonials and just people coming up and saying, I love your initiative. I love coming round, even though, in my case, at least some people cannot make the offline events. They can't make, for example, to the Coffee for Digital Dragons because they're arriving like second day of the conference. They have other duties. And my roster, at least, online is very different. I have some girls who can log in every month whenever the calls are happening. Sometimes they will pop in for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But I think it's even with Pogradajmy online, actually, when we're going around the conference, people recognize me by my voice, and I was like, oh, wasn't expecting that. Wasn't really, expecting that after, I think, since December it's been going on. People will pay that much attention, and I wonder what's it like for you, but because you, Jimmy, shared that, getting somebody to work on their game, actually being part of game dev, right? And I guess getting the energy from the meetups and getting to talk to other people and making a team from people who were part of the meetup, right? Was the success and motivated you to keep on going. But what about you guys? What are people, coming up, recognizing you in the street, or maybe, actually saying, oh, your initiative changed the outlook on of their life? How was it?
Yeah, so sometimes like it happens. Like I know that Lublin is not like any game dev center yet. I hope it will be at some point. But yeah, it's really inspiring when like you give a talk, someone will listen, and then like 2 years after they come back to you to the meetup and they say that, oh, you inspired me to do something, and that's like really heartwarming. That really it keeps I guess everyone here going and doing those things. And definitely like over those years, I saw that like people come and go and so on, but like friendship still stays, and like I enjoy like coming to the conference and then seeing people that they were coming to our meetups, or I was going for some other meetups in other cities, and like have a bond that, hey, how are you, just like catch up, what's going on, tell you your story, what you're up to, and that's really, I think that's really great. And I remember when I was starting, I really was in love that Polish community, game dev community, was so connected. And like in every city, like I guess that's mostly thanks to Michał and Pogradajmy, that people were like just connecting with each other. There was also a lot of student groups. Wrocław, Kraków, Warsaw, all of those cities has like some student groups where they were doing cool things, and it was like cool for me even like moving out from Lublin to Warsaw for a couple of years. It was really cool to be a part of like bigger community, not just our local, but also like Polish community of game developers. That's really what drives me, and because in Lublin. Okay, right now we have like 2 studios. Last year we have 3, but still I see Lublin being this like underdog that one day we will become like Polish, at least Polish capital of games.
Exactly.
But we'll see about that.
International in just a couple more years.
Yeah, exactly. And what I really love about Lublin is that our city tries to organize a lot of things around the culture. And for example, last year, Lublin was European Capital of Youth. And thanks to that, we organized European finals of Game Jam Plus because the organizers in Lisbon didn't make it. And we did it in like a month because Lisbon, Lublin both starts with L.
Yes.
And right now, Lublin is competing to get the title of European Capital of Culture in 29. And I'm really hoping that it will become a thing, because around that I can plan a lot of cool game dev events.
It will be the next step to world domination,
Yes,
and Lublin being the
yes.
headquarters of all game dev internationally. But I think that's amazing. I think one of the organizations you're mentioning, I want to give a shout out to Warsaw Polygon, because I think they're one of the key places for students to learn about more initiatives, and I think that's one of the first ones I got recommended as well, even before I was actually part of game dev, because they were meeting at university, and I think when I was still in corporate marketing, I actually went to one of the meetups. But
They are crazy. They are
Yes.
doing meetups like every week.
Yes, and I love them for that. And very visible at conferences as well. And we're gonna definitely come to how actually is about going through the initiative and promoting them, and what your ways have been so far. But Michał, what about you? What keeps you going for 11 years?
For me, it is people, right? I've met a lot of fantastic people. Some of them are here. So this is something fantastic, and it changed my life. And I cannot, quit and just leave it, because it is like I will try to leave some connections. It cannot happen, right? And I had, some ideas about the event, what this can bring to the, for me, maybe to others in life. For example, I wanted to connect gamers with game developers, to be something like a bridge for them. So we, for example, had job advertisements at the event, and I heard the stories that some people joined to the game development because of the Pogradajmy, because they meet people there, and this is inspiring for me that it can bring something good to anybody's life, right? For me, for others. So yeah, and maybe that's why I'm still doing this. Maybe not. I'm not the. I don't have my city at the moment. I'm joining with to Joanna online edition. But still, I'm ahead of the project and yeah, do something in the shadow about it.
Yes, and I think, for example, your contribution for me was super, super helpful because you would start the conversation, you would teach, the other members the Pogradajmy way, and actually, after I joined the initiatives, I took so many good lessons on my own, with, for example, sculpting the conversation, pacing myself, because I was burning out so quickly with my initiative. We'll probably go through, some of the lessons you learned, but for me, it was that it was never good enough for me, like my own thing. Like I always felt that I can do better, I can do more, I should do everything all at once. And I think the next topic I'd like to cover is actually, getting the initiatives recognizable and, promoting them, because I know a lot of people have ideas. That's the way it is in game development. I think ideas come a dozen, but it's always a struggle to make something out of them. And for promotions, at least Polygon is like, I think, a thing to kind of aspire to with my own initiative, because everybody you talk to, they recommend it. Either you see the person with the T-shirt somewhere, you see them at conferences, you get it via Discord because somebody else invited you to it. They have Facebook, meetups. But for me, for example, it's still a struggle, how much time to kind of invest into it, what kind of money to invest, looking for sponsors, looking for ways to make it out of the basement, I would say, and kind of out of the trenches. And I wonder how it is with you, because I met all of you actually being interested in your initiatives. Apart from Patrick, because we met at GAC, actually. Big shout out to Poznań as well, because that conference connects people the way that Digital Dragons do as well. But yeah, how has it been for you to kind of get the initiatives off the grounds? Because for me personally, it was that I like talking to people, and people recommended people to talk to me as well and kind of connect. And the need grew for it to make a permanent thing and kind of organize about it. And I was very hesitant at first about it being structured. I had a free-for-all. I wouldn't say gossiping, but kind of like just talking things through, because so many girls, at least that I met, they never had the opportunity to talk beyond the workplace. And sharing things in the workplace can be tricky, I would say. And you need a network outside of your dev job and, the jobs you currently have. So what's it been like for you to get the initiatives off the ground? Unless you want to add something, Hemat, as well.
Yeah, to this topic, I believe that first you need to have a place what you can do after the event where you can bring people together. For example, we had a Facebook group when we, talked about it during the event, that please join us, and then you will have more information about the next event. So the place where you can put the information about your event. It's very important, not just the event, but also the place. You can do a lot of different activities. As you can try to do a merge, right? I have it. Patrick
yes.
has
Beautiful.
it as well. Yes.
Beautiful merge.
Yeah, but still, yeah, it can help to be more visible, and but still, I believe social media. It can be Facebook. Now it's very popular. Discord. We also have a Discord. So. Yeah, the place where you can put the information about your event.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard at the beginning. Those 11 years ago, there was no common Facebook groups where you can post your stuff.
But the ranges were better.
That's true. That's true. Definitely, you can reach more people. When we were starting, actually. I have no idea what I was doing. Sometimes I feel still like that. But yeah, I know a couple of people that maybe be into game dev stuff, so I just like invite a couple of them, and then those friends invite their friends, and then it start like growing or naturally. It helped also that in Lublin we have a pad bar, and I think it was like the first in Poland where you can like actually come and play console games, and that was like perfect opportunity for us to just like that's our place. And yeah, like I remember when, okay, again going back to high school, I used to listen to radio audition about games, and the program is still going. So I think it's now the oldest radio program about games. Gramy na Maxa, if you haven't heard about it, like I highly recommend that. In recent episode, they were trying to so natural language of like games is mostly English, and they tried to translate all the things like you won't use English words in that that episode, and that it was really fun to listen to it. And yeah, like they are doing cool things. But yeah, like having some platform to like tell other people that hey, there are people like you that are doing things in your city. I think it's important. Right now, it might be a bit hard to. No, actually, maybe it won't be that hard. Like there is like a ton of like game dev communities around Facebook. You can just like post your things. Like there's like Polish game dev. There's like Indie Games Poland. Dozens of those, and especially those discords of like student groups. Those are also great places where you can like share what you are doing. And like what I really love recently about all the events that we are doing, like for the Global Game Jam in Lublin, we are organizing Lub Jam, and I really love when I hear people coming from like Poznań, Kraków, Free City, even from Warsaw. Like that's I love it. I love it. That's really, really cool, and that helps also spread the word that hey, maybe there is like some game dev in our city, but there's also in some other places.
I think it's a very good thing you're talking about, the Facebook groups and plethora of initiatives. But I have to say that I was surprised how little some people know. They're not even aware of, a thing going on in the city for like 5 years, 6 years, and it's not that there's no Facebook page. It's not that people in the city don't know about it, but there are some white, spaces, blank spaces still. And the dream I would have, for example, actually, and one of the ideas for the panel itself was maybe in the future we could make a map of all the initiatives, because at the end of the day, it's, about sharing and networking. And for me, it was always about empowering people and kind of showing that no matter what you're going through, no matter what part of game industry you are part of, marketing, it's not dev. We are there to sell the games, we are there to pitch the games, we are there to make sure that the vision gets to as many people as possible. But we're not programming things, we're not, in the trenches with the devs. But still, it's important. The same with, finance people, HR people, all the back office of game dev, and make sure that these people know that the things that they're going through are not unique. It's not, you're not reinventing the circle. And a lot of times, I think that the feedback I had is that, I wish I had known about the initiative a few years back. I wish there was that when I was, for example, younger, more junior in the industry. And it was there. It was just that the message for some reason was not going through. And I hope, for example, this panel, when people watch it later, they see that there are so many things and there are so many places to meet people. It's not, about having the money for tickets. It's not about being speakers. It's not about even, being part of a particular company for a number of years. It's just getting out, talking to people and finding a place for themselves as well.
Yeah, I think you touched quite a big issue. Like, there's no one place to go where you want to learn about events, even locally or nationwide or worldwide. But I know one company that started to work on that. I'm not supposed to do the commercial here, so I skip that. But you can
You
hit
can
me
share
later.
in private, maybe. Well, we can maybe do it in the description as well.
Or
once,
beep
yeah.
that later on. It's a workplace. That's a company that's starting to work on the calendar of events in Poland, and they scale it like local-wise and country-wise. So I hope in the future that would be easier.
But about, for example, promoting your initiative, for me personally, I learned from networking. It's like, are you going to get a beer on Monday and go to, you know...
Because I think in our community, the networking is like a key to success. And that was one of the key things I focused on, like to allow the newbies or wannabes to get in touch with the like seniors or someone with knowledge. And so they can ask simply like face to face, how can I handle like this issue? Or even like later on, get me in touch with someone else who can help me with. That was huge things.
Awesome, and I think it's good to understand as well, you know, the landscape of the industry, because I think there are some capitals, unfortunately. There's a big competition for Lublin, being the only capital, the biggest one of them all. But I think sometimes people forget that Warsaw is not the main center and epicenter, and I think with these initiatives...
But we're gonna have a competition, I guess.
One day, one day.
One day. I think, you know, for me at least, people sometimes assume that there are not enough online stuff, or, oh, I live in a city far, far away. I think Martin, actually, who is in the audience, he's part of Pogradajmy, and I think one of the best success stories of like sharing the initiatives in a smaller actual place that people would not assume would have an initiative like that, Gosting, who most people in Poland probably know from sweetened condensed milk, which was the best, the most delicious thing ever. But I think it's... I wonder what it looks like in your eyes, at least, because for me, making online was the easier choice, at least for Kobiece Game Dev, because most of the women I knew, they didn't live in Warsaw. Sometimes I do, you know, in-person meetups over coffee and cake, but whenever I am available, which I want to kind of rectify, maybe make it more regular thing. But what do you think of the landscape? Do you think that this like just in the cities, or is it more about people kind of, I don't know, having the drive, for example, to come to the events, to kind of make sure that they are part of it? Do you think it is a problem, or it's something that, you know, can be rectified?
For sure
over
it
time?
is. For example, this is why we are not running an event on the weekend, because people usually have other plans. During the week, it's like hard to get a trip to another city, like only to attend for 2-3 hours for an event.
The best 2 or 3 hours, though.
Even though. But on the beginning, it wasn't my focus to like address the other folks from other cities. But right now, I'm hearing the voices like people would like to attend, but they can't. This is why even this Thursday, we are having online event on the Discord.
Yes.
Yeah. Simply to address that thing. And that would be like very beginning level, and we'll see how it's gonna go. But even then, during the COVID, we got online events. So, and they were going like crazy well.
Anything to add from this?
Well, we used to also do like online events during COVID, but yeah, I was working remotely even before the pandemic, and I just like grew a bit maybe tired of like spending most of my time in front of the computer. So like I treat our meetups as a way to like go out and meet people in real life, and yeah. And I saw that after some time, people also like were a bit tired. Of course, like it's easier to just like connect on the Discord or however else you are connecting. But like there's like
But it's
you
not
have
that
like
fun.
one, yeah. But there's like always like one main topic that sometimes maybe people will join and discuss just a bit. We were just like trying to spin up it and just like break people into some smaller rooms. But like when you are meeting in real life, then that's easy. You are just like sitting in the next table and you are just chatting around. And that's also easier, I guess, for like meeting new people and even like during those parties yesterday or day before, like that's a great opportunity to just like hang out with. First, we see like one of our friends, he's speaking with someone else,
Yes.
and that's great opportunity to just like, hi, I'm Patrick. I would like to meet you. Tell me a bit more about yourself. Maybe we'll do something together at some point.
Yes, it was exactly the same the way we met actually.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I really enjoy like real life meetings way more than online. Of course, like online you can just like connect, but like I don't feel that spark.
You should come over to mine, online edition, and we can play,
Are we even allowed?
Yes, of course.
Cool.
You should, and we're gonna come back to the slide with our faces, all the names of the initiatives, so that you can catch them. And online we play really good charades,
Huh.
which is a great thing actually, and kind of a learning as well, which I think will be the last question we go through before we open to Q&A. But Schemat, up to you as well.
Yeah, I need to tell you, Joanna, that Pogradajmy, the main target at the beginning was to do it for the local community. And the idea was just about it. But I had a lot of, feedback that's why it's not in the X city. Yeah, we grew up and we have more cities. What's fun is that we occurred that we can do it the same, maybe not the same, but similar to the local event in online way. I believe it's because of the experience what we have in the locals community. So now it can be nationwide more, right? But still, for me, it was first targets for the locals.
Awesome. And I think that's the last part of it is really about lessons learned. Is there something that after all the years of running the initiatives you wish you would have known at the beginning? Now, with all the experience, having a time machine, being able to change something, is there anything that you would change, or is there anything to share with someone with all the knowledge you have now of who is thinking about starting an initiative in their own hometown, online, or just something else entirely from what is on the panel here? What would you say?
What I learned that it was worth it, and I met, like I said before, a lot of fantastic people, and probably you will do it the same. So if you have an idea about to create the event, just do it. And don't think about the numbers of how many people will be there, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who will be there. Yeah, and this is big learn for me, and why I doing this now, and it's why it was worth it.
I wouldn't travel back in time, because if I would know that how hard would it be at the beginning, well, maybe later, then maybe I wouldn't start it. And as Michał said, like don't overanalyze it. Just like do it. Set a date. Organize the event. Who will come, then they will come. But you will have a great experience. You will enjoy that, or at least you're supposed to enjoy that. And you will meet new people that are enjoying things that you are passionate about. And I think that's the greatest thing of all.
Awesome.
And I'm thinking if I can say something different and smart as well from you guys. It's hard to come up with something like that. The only thing I'm thinking right now is like if you are having special guests on your events, like someone with a knowledge who can talk on the topic, first you gotta talk with him and prepare him for that, because it's not that easy like to come out with and to talk with the people, because my event is focused on the I'm trying to have quite natural conversation with the public when the guests ask questions, and they can ask any question basically. And the guests are not always prepared for that. And this is a thing I learned, like get them prepared. Because what I want the event to be about is to have a comfort, give a comfort to people and that nice experience. And not only to the public, but to the guests as well.
Awesome. I love that thought, and I hope you guys felt prepared what we're doing today. And I think from my side, I love it. Just do it. Like, you know, it's like a Nike. That tagline worked because it's so simple and effective. And I don't know if you remember that meme with Shia LaBeouf. I think just do it. Just do it. And I think for me it's the same. It's not about the numbers. It's not about how many things you do. It's about the impact you do. And for me, the learning is to talk to other organizers like here. I think that was the breakthrough for me because a lot of the things that I thought I was alone and struggling, you guys went through the same or very similar. And just knowing that there's a tribe for everything, for every problem, I think that's very pivotal. And I hope you
Can I
all-
comment on that?
Sure.
Just short.
Sure.
You were talking about like, do not think about the numbers, but I'm a player. I always think about the numbers and how it goes out. And if the event doesn't go well for me, I take it hard. Like, and I'm thinking, what can I change to make it better? Like, I'm thinking about that.
Yeah, you need to like analyze that. Like, okay, like recently we
Basically, I take it personally.
I feel that. Recently we organized a paper game jam, and we were hoping, like, people were asking us about it for like 2 years straight. And like a month ago we organized it finally, and we were hoping that, like, we only had like 20 tickets, and we were thinking that people will just like buy it out first day after we announced that. And that didn't materialize. And we had to reevaluate our idea about how this event will go on. And yeah, definitely you have to like think about those things, that sometimes not all ideas will be successful, but also that's sometimes humbling.
And I think it's still worth trying, right? And kind of like tweaking it to perfection. My meetings changed a lot from the first idea, and it's still a formula to kind of perfect. And I think, as you can see, you have all the names of the initiatives if you want to reach out to us. And I think we have around 10 minutes still for any questions if you have. So very excited to open up the floor. Anyone, anything, don't be shy. Yes. Does it work? Yes.
Hello, thanks. Oh, that's very loud. Hello, thanks a lot for sharing. I'm Ricardas from Lithuania and from the association. So our main work is events, but the difference is that, yeah, I get paid. And you I assume you don't get paid. And the question is, do you get any help from your community, and how do you encourage them to help you, or you just have to run everything alone?
I have lucky because in our organization we have a lot of organizers from different cities. So we work together. Yeah, not just me, of course. We prepare everything together. We have roles in the organization. So some of us is for marketing, some of us is for recruitment, etc. So yeah, we share it. And it's if you are just alone, I believe, and if you do a non-profit or event, that you should talk with your community about it, right? If you need help, just talk about it, and probably they will help you. We have a lot of experience that people from community join us as organizers, yeah, because they didn't was just as people who are attendant. But some of them thought that, okay, we can do it something together, yeah? So in Pogradajmy, it worked in this
I'm
way.
an example of that as well, actually, right? Because I was joining some of the meetups in Warsaw, but then I felt inspired because I needed to have a space like that. And at least in my case, is that I'm open up to the idea of having someone to co-work it with. But for me, it was just finding a way to get all my, I don't know, just like a need to do something and make it work. And I do it just to get it out of my system as well. And I have to keep doing something. And for me, it was that way, to be honest.
In my case, in the beginning, I found like a lot of help in the TK games, and from Radek, it was huge help. And when I came back to Warsaw, I also asked like a local science club of the game developments, Polygon. They helped me as well, and Dominika, who is here as well, she's helping me constantly. And we are working to get like some funds, like to let us, which I hope will let us grow.
I think we have to wrap it up now, but you can catch us after the panel as well and connect with us. And thank you so much for being here on Tuesday after the main party. And we hope it was a good panel and you learned a thing or two.
Too short.
Thank you.
Thank you.